Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxwood, a technical trader at techtrader.com. It is, let's see, it's the 10th of September. These are the charts of the day. Well, folks, the market had a pretty intriguing day today, although it was down and wedged and then broke out late in the day and closed down on the day a little bit, I believe, but the technicals were good. I think the market still has a good shot at making higher highs here. We'll see. A lot of individual stocks breaking out. That's what encourages me. Let's take a look at a few of them. First of all, Acacia was exploded monstrously yesterday on big news and then pulled back. It had an inside day and a positive one, and it was up 237 or 6% on 7.5 million. I think it goes higher. I'm looking for 50-51, and obviously supports 37 right now. Akiba broke out inverse head and shoulders. So there's the left shoulder, there's your head and right shoulder. Broke through the neckline today with a big thrust. $1.12 is 26%. 1.8 million traded, biggest volume in almost 2.5 months. So it looks to me like we're going to head higher, and my target's 6.5, and then eventually, I think I might make a move towards 7 3/4. So 6.5 and 7 3/4 are my targets. AMAG, we've been talking about this for a few weeks now. The big pop, the pullback, held the moving averages. Today it popped through double top. I think it's going to, a minimum, in a very short-term basis, reach the 13.40-50 range maybe tomorrow. But my actual target is now 14.25 and then 17.25. Babcock Wilcox broke out of a long base pattern. Well, let's put it this way: coiling base pattern with good technicals has me intrigued. Big volume in a breakout today. Now I'm looking for a run to the double top at 5.35 and then 7. Those are my targets. Possible swing right there. ENDP popped dramatically 2 days ago. Inside day yesterday quietly. Volume receded, not as much as was the day before, and then boom, today another pop of about $1 off the low, 93 cents net on the day, up 30 cents, 24 million, huge volume. I believe we're going to see 4 3/4, 5 3/4, and even 6 3/4 in the next few weeks. Monstrous move today. The leader of the day was Francesca, which doubled, went up 101%, and closed at the upper end of the range. And now after hours, it's trading at 12 and change. Check this out, folks. That's right. Closed at about 10.25 or a half, ran all the way up to 12 3/4, 12.5, excuse me, and backed off to retest support and bounced yet again. Tomorrow, this could be a monster stock. Anytime you see that kind of a move, it should test secondary resistance at 13.44. So that's my target for tomorrow. You get through that, Katie bar the door. GHTX I've been talking about for a while. The wedge was broken on an engulfing reversal day, closing at the high. Target 49.5. At home, well, it popped today, and I think we're going to test 10.25 near term. Strong momentum. ITI, this low price stock has a beautiful inverse head and shoulder base, breakout, retest, consolidate, and go. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth wave started today, in my opinion. We go to 6.5, we go to 7.25, we may go to 8. LXU, V bottom of the right-handed extension, a retest of and fill the gap. A wedge forms, it pops and pulls back and tests one more time, then boom. 5 days in a row up to almost 6 today, 588. My target, 8. And MAXR, which was a swing there and it didn't work, has come down to retest for 6 more weeks. Now it's popping back again. Today was a big day. Up $1.35 or 19%, 5.4 million traded, looking good for at least a test, coming up towards 10. But I think the top of the channel may be tested as well. I'm going to draw that in at about 12, and maybe this here, 12 3/4. So somewhere in the 10.5 to 12 3/4 are my targets. Mesoblast with a big pop and breakout. Volume was 435,000 shares. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the second biggest volume in a year, and the biggest volume on an update in a year and a half. So for me, if we can get right through here, we should make a move that I think gets it up towards 7 and then 8, 8.5. MIK, what a monstrous move this took. With a breakaway 5 days ago, or 4 days ago, it's now about 5 days in a row, having gone from 5 to 10 in a week, 6 days. It's a bit overbought, and if it gets up to 10 3/4, 11, I would exit it because it's extruded and extended, it needs to pull back and consolidate. But eventually, I'm looking for 13 and 15. MNK with a monstrous reversal after the spike down explosive implosion, 3 days in a row up with a climax 85% day today. On a mere 53 million shares, the biggest volume ever traded in that stock that I can see. I think that's reversal day. I think the stock heads up towards at least, I would say at least 5.5, probably closer to 6, 6.25, and then consolidates. Nectar, I love that chart and I love that company, and I kind of finally think I saw a bottom today. We'll see. At the bottom of the long-term channel, anyway. Telling me that we may have a big move on our hands coming. We'll see. For now, here's your channel. Halfway into the gap gets connected to about 24, and all the way up is 28. OMI. Boy, does that look good. With that spike up and flag, another measured move got me right to resistance today. It's extended because it's gone from 2.5 to 8 plus. More than tripled, so it needs to pull back and do a wave 4 before 5 comes in. That 5 should take me, I think, to about 10.5. ORN, I looked at that this weekend when I saw that run up and flag today. It broke out, it looks like, up 31 cents, 7%. Volume increased a bit. It looks like it's going to be heading towards 6.5 and maybe as high as 8. Overstock doing well on a big comeback. Now up 5 days in a row. Today spiking up from a low of 18.05 to 21.50, closing 21.32, up $1.85 or 9.5%. Volume was the best in 2 weeks. I think we're going to immediately test this zone between 22.75 and 23.5 area. If it gets through it, it may spike right to 26.7. But love to see a little flag developing here. Puma, pop, breakout, took the wedge out right here. I believe this was a kind of a coiling wedge brace. There's your breakout. There's a pop of $1.65 or 15.25% of 2.5 million. I'm now looking for this to make a run at 14.5 3/4 and then eventually 17 plus. PIR, part of the specialty retail group that's been running. Big volume today, 1.5 million for that stock is the biggest volume I've almost ever seen. And you can see that now that it's popped up through and to resistance, right about there. It looks to me like it may need to pull back and retest. But if it does continue forward, 17 and 20 are targets. PIRS, finally after retesting again, exploded today. 54 cents or 11% on 600,000. Not the biggest volume, but I think we're headed towards a run towards the 6, 7, and then 8 zones. SIEN looks like it's ready. Reversal day, perhaps. 46 cents or 7%, million traded. We can get this to 733.35. 8.5 and 10 are targets. And finally, Tenneco came out of a base. It's now up 5 days in a row. It's at resistance, but if it follows through, 17 is your target. And you pull back in the 11.5, 12 zone gently with low volume, might be a flag setup. That's it for tonight, everybody. Have